Hello, and welcome to Colorado, where I'm recording this podcast episode. Today, we're going to talk about getting overwhelmed. See you in a minute. Hi, friends. This is Bethany Jennings, and you're listening to We Should Talk. It's a podcast where we talk about anything and everything to encourage, equip, and empower you to be a decent human. Let's talk. As before mentioned, I am in Colorado. I am sitting in a church in Denver. The name of the church is Calvary, I believe. This is going to be a very brief episode, I believe. I'm going to talk to you about why I feel overwhelmed and what helps me. Some of it, I'm sure, is science-based, but I'm not going to get into the science or psychology of all of it really deep. But let's set the stage so you know what we're sitting with here. I'm sitting in a nursery. My husband is in the sanctuary. You're going to hear them rehearsing because the nursery is connected to the sanctuary where they are rehearsing. I got Silas down for a nap, and Onyx is currently teaching rehearsal with his father. So I'm going to do this really, really fast. I find myself getting overwhelmed, and the ways I know I'm getting overwhelmed, obviously you feel overwhelmed, but sometimes you don't even realize what you're doing until you're too far into it, you know? When I get very irritable, I know I'm overwhelmed. I get irritable with my kids, with my husband, with anyone. When I get extremely overwhelmed, I get very irritable. I start to dissociate, meaning I'm here, but I'm not here, kind of feeling in your brain like you're floating. I also tend to have disordered sleeping and eating habits. But sometimes it's like an anxiety feeling, like my breathing gets dysregulated. But I know enough about my body and about the science behind it that I realize what's happening. I think not always immediately right off, but probably earlier than someone who doesn't study the field would. And so what I have done is check my surroundings and like what is going on in this moment that's making me like just pushing me over the edge right now. Sometimes it's my kid melting down. He's 2 and he tantrums at times. And I know with every tantrum, that means his brain is growing. And I love that my kid has a growing brain. I love that he's very smart. But that comes with some struggle bus moments. And he's 2. You know, I can't apologize for my kid being 2. And so when that happens, I try to get him to a place where he can calm down. Because I know if I'm feeling overwhelmed, he's definitely feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes Silas is just cranky and he can't settle and there's just too much going on. So again, I have to remove myself from that setting. But there are some settings like you can't remove yourself from. Like if my kid is freaking out, I can't remove myself from my kid. Like I have to take care of my kid. So, when I find myself being irritable or really short-tempered with my kids or with my husband or with anyone around me, I have to kind of look at what else I'm doing. Like if me interacting with this human is required right now, then what else am I doing that is taking away from that experience? What is causing the confusion and the overwhelming feeling? And I need to remove some things. Now, this could be on a very broad spectrum, or it could be very specific in that moment. So if I have a lot going on in my life in general, you know, it's getting scheduling out for our home church and making sure events are planned appropriately for the evangelism portion of our church, or getting our travel schedule managed, or getting my house clean and trying to keep it clean, or all kinds of things, right? When I look at the big picture of things, I have to say, okay, I've been feeling really stressed and overwhelmed for however many days, weeks. Why am I feeling this way? And what am I doing that I don't need to do? When I am extremely overwhelmed, it's usually not my kid's fault. It's usually that I am doing the most. It's usually that I'm doing things that I don't have to do, that I'm not required to do, that no one expects me to do. But things that I have put the expectation on myself, and no one else may be putting that there, but I am. And, that's a thing that I have to work on. This pressure for performance, this need to please, this, I'm not doing enough. I'm not earning my keep. Like, we can even earn our salvation, whatever that's about. So I have to step back and say, I'm doing the most. I need to calm down and do less. Usually when I'm feeling overwhelmed, the solution is do less. Now, some things I can't not be the evangelism coordinator if this is what I signed up to do. I can't just bail on them, right? Or I can't not go to a place that we've agreed to go to minister. So, instead of doing that, I have to prioritize, right? There's like a quadrant. I don't remember what it's called. There's a quadrant, and it's like important and urgent, right? It's like important, not important, urgent, not urgent, that kind of thing. I don't know if those are exact terms. But one quadrant would be urgent and important. And the next quadrant would be not that important, but urgent, or not whatever, but urgent, right? And then important, but not urgent, and it's not that urgent, and it's not like life or death right now. I forget exactly what they're called. Anyways, but it's a way to prioritize your to-do list. So if I have an event that's in 3 months and they need a set list, like a worship set list, but I don't have the worship set list done for the event coming up this week, I'm not doing the 3-month one first. I'm not. I'm going to take care of this week's. Now, why are we waiting to the week of to get a set list? I don't know. Maybe something happened. Maybe it was a late schedule. Maybe we're helping a friend out. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know in this hypothetical scenario what actually went down. So I'm not going to get into it. But it's about prioritizing, doing urgency and, the level of importance at that specific moment. And so, do I need to do this right now, or can I push this back and schedule it at a different time in order to work efficiently and effectively and not lose my mind? So that's one thing I have to do. If it's a more immediate, like in this moment situation, like, why am I mad at Onyx? Why do I feel angry right now with Onyx? Why do I feel flustered or frustrated right now with Silas? Are they crying? Is he crying because he wants me? Oh, okay. Well, why does he want me? Does he need food? Does he need a diaper change? Is he hurt? Is he, you know what I mean? So check those things. And then, like, why am I bothered that my kid needs, like, why is this making me feel like I'm not focusing? What am I focusing on instead of my kid right now? Is it the dishes? Let Onyx wash dishes with me. Onyx loves to wash dishes. Do I need to go sit down and play with them? Sure, why not? My children only get one childhood. And while I do like to have a decent house to live in, I can fold the laundry after they go to bed, or I can fold it at some point. So, it's just prioritizing what needs to happen in that moment for me. Another thing that I find is with the disordered sleeping and the disordered eating, it becomes a vicious cycle. And so I'm not sleeping because I feel stressed and my brain won't shut down. And so I end up not waking up at the time I want to be awake in the morning to get my personal alone time with Jesus. I am a Christian mom, but I find if I don't get my time with Jesus in the morning, sometimes I am just a mom. And the Christian part goes out the window. And I don't like that at all. But I try to be very disciplined with that when I can, because I need Jesus. I have to have him. Now, sometimes my prayer is washing a bottle out in the morning because Onyx decided that this morning of all mornings he was getting up really early. Normally he sleeps like 11:30, which I'm not mad about. So the disordered sleeping and then disordered eating. If I'm not eating, if I'm not taking care of myself, I'm just grabbing something real quick and it's not nutritious. Yeah, that's problematic, friend. And it becomes a vicious cycle because it just contributes to the exhaustion, which also contributes to the being overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, you're in exhaustion. And it's just a cycle. It's just a cycle. And so my solution for that is having quick and easy things that I can grab that are nutritious. Unfortunately, as mothers, we're so busy taking care of everyone else, we don't always take care of ourselves. But the flip side of that is if we don't take care of ourselves, no one else gets taken care of. And you know, the whole metaphor from an empty cup and, you know, all those things apply here. Fill in whatever metaphor you'd like to use there. I'm sure you can hear David in the background right now singing, "Victory is mine." Pray for my husband. So we tend to be overwhelmed when we're doing too much. It's not always the other person's fault. You cannot control the other person's behavior. You can only control your behavior. Now, when I start feeling overwhelmed, we're going to get back to that statement in a second. When I start feeling overwhelmed, sometimes it's like I just need a quiet space with, you know, turn the lights off, blah, blah, blah. But I don't always get that. I don't always get that option. And when I know, like, that anxiety feeling, like my chest is tight and my breathing is getting shallow and those kinds of things, a lot of that is hormonal for me because, you know, I feel like I've been pregnant for 3 straight years. Because we had Onyx and then a miscarriage and then Silas. Speaking of, Silas's birthday is this Thursday while we're here in Colorado. And 2 years ago when we were in Colorado, I was pregnant with the baby that we lost. And anyways, crazy how like the timing and the placement of it all happened. Silas was actually born a year, just about to the day after our miscarriage. Anyway, so my body's like had some hormonal stuff going on, you know? And for the record, women are not the only people with hormones. We're not the only humans that have hormones. So men, don't be saying, well, my wife's just hormonal. Men, do not say, well, my girlfriend's just... No, you need to check yourself. What's going on with you? When's the last time you got your hormones checked? When's the last time you had a blood panel done? Maybe you need some help. Don't be trying to tough it out when you're feeling overwhelmed and you have anxiety. Don't be trying to tough it out. That's how mental breakdowns happen and poor choices happen. You need to get help too. Getting help does not make you less manly. It makes you wise, and wisdom is manly. Anyways, so when I get that feeling, sometimes I need a quiet that over the anxiety, like an anxiety attack feeling, like my chest is tight and my breathing is shallow and my brain is disordered and I disassociate and all the things. Sitting in a quiet room with the lights dim, blah, 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 that's really nice if you can do that, but sometimes you can't do that. And also knowing how your brain actually works, it's actually better if you get up and move, like get up and dance and or jog or walk or just flop around and shake around, whatever. Just be silly with your body. Get your body moving because it's going to activate the chemicals in your brain to counterbalance that feeling of anxiety. Okay, that's the science portion of it. Now, what I said earlier about I can't do anything about their behavior, I can only fix my behavior. It's not always the other person's fault that I feel overwhelmed, right? We are very quick to place blame on other people for how we feel. They're not in charge of your feelings. You're in charge of your feelings. And again, what you feel is real, but it's not always reality. So that is where you have to say, okay, I know this person keeps coming to me asking me questions on the job or for the event that I'm managing at whatever or whatever. I know this person, everyone keeps coming asking me questions. And I've been working on this till midnight. And these people keep asking me questions. And those people, and they're doing this, and they're doing this. A boundary is what you need. And I think I have an episode on boundaries. I'm not sure. I think I do. But we have got to remember, boundaries are not telling other people what to do. Boundaries are for us to keep, not for others to respect. They may not respect your boundaries, but you can't do nothing about that. The boundaries are for you to keep, not for them to respect. So the boundary is not, you don't contact me after midnight, or you don't contact me after working hours of 6 p.m., right? They're probably going to do it anyways, because they probably forgot, and their problem is very big to them, and that's okay. It is what it is. That boundary is not for them. That boundary is for you. The boundary is, when I am contacted after work hours, because inevitably you will be, I will not respond until work hours the next day. That is a boundary. When this happens, I will not, or I will. Yeah, boundaries are for you, not for everybody else. So, yeah, feeling overwhelmed, doing the most, having boundaries for that, using scheduling appropriately, all of these things contribute to it. Moving your body to produce good chemicals to counteract the anxiety. These are all important things. Now, this episode, speaking of doing the most, this episode will be the last episode of this season. Not of ever, but of this season. I think I've gone over the normal limit of episodes in a season. We're listening to Victory. I'm sure you guys hear it. We have a background track happening in this episode. Anyways, this is going to be the last episode happening in the season. I think I've gone over the normal limit, but I don't really know what the normal limit is. And honestly, I've never been accused of being normal, so I don't know. It's more than I have done in the past. So, and it is summer, well into summer at this point. So I'm going to call this the last episode of the season, and I will see you guys again in the fall. But it is difficult, to say the least, to record an episode every week, or even record an episode ahead of time, like, stack them up to release when we are traveling like we are. And we are traveling a lot this summer, and thank you, Jesus, I get to travel with David. The boys get to be with their dad this summer. And when we travel, we try to take at least like one afternoon and do something fun with the boys. Like today we went to focus on the family, and we actually met a writer of the episodes of Adventures in Odyssey, and they gave us a free ice cream because Silas is turning 1, and Onyx played in the play areas. And if you've never been to Focus on the Family and the Wits End and Adventures in Odyssey and all those things, if you're ever in Colorado, just do it. It's worth it. If you don't know what Adventures in Odyssey is, I am so sorry. Look it up. Listen to it. It's a Christian-based, family-friendly talk show. It's like a broadcast, like like an old school radio broadcast. Like it would be like dramas or comedies or whatever. It's like that. And it's really good. There's always a moral lesson involved. There's some really good storylines involved. Some of the earlier ones are actually kind of intense. Like I remember one of the first episodes I heard was Castles and Cauldrons, and yikes, it got really intense. Like I did not listen to it at night, but it's got really good moral lessons in it. And this is not a plug for Adventures in Odyssey. How did we get here? It doesn't matter. We went there today, and we had a lot of fun. So I'm very blessed that we get to travel with David. It doesn't always happen this way, but it's happening some this summer, and we're very thankful. So it's just, we're traveling a lot, so it's a lot to record episodes every week. So we're in Colorado this week, and Indiana next week, and then Louisiana, and then Virginia. I was going to be in Iowa, and now I'm not in Iowa. David's in Virginia, so I'll go with him. And then there's like South Carolina in there somewhere, and then Maryland. So there's a lot going on. We need your prayers. We appreciate your prayers. Also, we need prayer warriors. Our prayer warriors are older. Granny passed. She was one of our prayer warriors. And you can't be a warrior without some battles. So we need some people who pray and know how to pray and know how to go to war in the spirit world. Because what we do is very physically demanding, mentally demanding, spiritually demanding. So if you're one of those humans that prays for us, thank you so much. All right, I'm going to go because my brain is spiraling now. I'm going to go into this rehearsal and check on Onyx and come back and check on Silas. I've enjoyed talking to you guys this season. I know it's been a more irregular season off and on. I appreciate your understanding. I appreciate your patience. And I will see you in the fall. Until then, feel free to go back and listen to any episodes that you may have missed. And holler at me if you have any suggestions for next season. Love y'all. Bye. Well, that was fun. I'm glad you stuck around for the whole thing. And thank you for talking to me today. Y'all go like and follow and review and do all the podcast things that people do. And don't forget to be a good human.